Welcome to Mac's Corner. This is Little Mac, and we are revisiting Starship Corporation. There's two very specific reasons for this. Number one is that the game just made it on Steam in early access, so that's quite the big hurdle to overcome, and it's very promising then that the game is going to continue to move forward. And I wanted to go ahead and do a quick video to highlight the updates to the game. Frankly, in the 2 months, I think I did a Let's Play on this about a month and a half ago, and it's come quite a ways in just a month and a half from when I did it. And all that was really available was the ship design aspect. So I'm going to show off some of the new stuff. Now, granted, it's come a long way, but it's still got a long way to go. The other reason I wanted to go ahead and do another Let's Play video on Star Corporation is because I received some very frank and honest criticism in a comment for my last Starship Corporation video, and I love feedback. I appreciate constructive feedback, but any kind of feedback works. And he brought up some really good points that were flaws in the last video, so I want to go ahead and do the game justice and do myself justice by revisiting and doing a kind of redoing a video. I'm not going to take the old video offline simply because I think that is, I just don't want to. Unless there's something that's just really inappropriate or offensive, which would never make it on the site anyways, I don't like to take stuff down. This is my space, and it is what it is. My very first video, as crappy as it is what it is. But moving on. For this one, all they have available right now is the new, or the sandbox mode, but that's still more than was available than before. So we're going to go ahead and start a little game right now. Call the company Max Starcore, why not? Oh, and so what I was going to say before I kind of got a little bit distracted there is, at the end of this video, I'm going to go over the ship design again. It's going to be a much quicker than the last video and a lot smoother than what the last video was. So if you've already seen the last video, and real quick, if you've already seen the last video, you could probably skip the second part of this. And if you haven't seen the last video, you don't need to after watching this one, is the short answer of it. So right here, you can select your starting conditions. We're obviously just going to start off with as much money as we can, because why limit ourselves right now? And right there. And then for the tech, and you guys can obviously pause and read this, we're going to do technology fully unlocked. Just, not that we're actually going to go through and play through all that. As I said, it's come a long way. It's got a long way to go, but I really want to support these devs because this looks like a game with a lot of potential. And from what I've researched about the devs, they're a really solid dev team. So, all right. As you can see, Galaxy map limitation. This is the only star system currently available to travel to. And in order to do, so if you go to modules, this is all new, but in order to access this stuff, we need to add a new office, which, there we go. You can see the maintenance, the construction costs, and all that stuff. So before you do a lot of things in the solar system, got to add an office. And I would imagine that with multiple systems and multiple corporations, there's going to be strategy on who starts where, how you start, and which systems you go to, but that's beyond the scope of this for right now. So we got the market, which I don't believe they had last time. You can buy, and I'm assuming sell stuff. Contracts, classes of ships. Ship design, which I'm going to get to last. This is pretty much all they had the last time I did a video. Crew management. So this is pretty cool. They had this a little bit last time, though it looks like they've added more to it. But they did have some of this, but if I recall correctly, it wasn't quite this detailed. Shipyard. Yeah, once again, just they've got the infrastructure down for the shipyard. They've obviously, I'm sure they're going to do more with it. And technology. This is a big one. They've got their tech tree pretty fleshed out. They had it sort of like they had enough last time where it filled in the gaps and gave an idea what they were going to do. But now, I mean, they really get into the details of which each one's, what each of these is going to do. As you can see, it's quite the substantial tech tree. And I'm imagining that your strategy for advancing across the tech tree is going to be pretty big. So as you can see, actually, it goes sort of down as well as across. And these are all the different systems. So depending on your strategy, you're probably going to want to focus on different systems. As I said in the last episode, at least when you initially start any kind of business, it's better to specialize than try and do a little bit of everything. And I'm sure the tech tree will be a key aspect of the next game. Now back to the galaxy map, and that's really all we can do except, I guess, travel to the solar system. And for anybody who's seen the last video, that's really about all that there. Well, I don't want to say that's all. That's everything to show off. Most of this stuff, these are the ships. We don't have any. Here, offices, small shipyard. Here's how you can add a new route. I'm assuming once you've got a ship. But they didn't have this stuff during the last episode, which is why I didn't show it off. Or if they had it, it was all placeholders, as opposed to they've obviously got the framework now to build upon. And without further ado, so if you've seen the last video, you probably don't need to see any more. If you didn't, I want to go ahead and redo this ship design and hopefully do a better job than I apparently did last time. So, start off with the little bug shuttle, which I suppose is a pretty good first step, because if you can't shuttle people back and forth to bigger spaceships, you probably don't need to be building bigger spaceships. So, let's see if I can. Should be a tutorial that pops up. Oh, or did they do a whole separate tutorial thing? So I'm going to listen to my man who commented and go, let me go back. I think they might have just a brand new tutorial thing, which would be pretty cool if they do. And it'd be neat. It's neat to think that maybe my video had something to do with that, though I'm not saying it did or didn't. I have no clue. But I do remember seeing a tutorial thing. So tutorials. And we will do ship design tutorial. And there's other tutorials too, but there's probably not enough there to worry about right now. But the ship design's pretty fleshed out. Okay. That's fine.
Welcome to the ship design tutorial. Please use the next button to start.
All right, and it talks to us now. That's pretty sweet.
In this screen, you can determine which contract you're working on and which fuselage to use. You can either click on Load to start with a pre-existing design, or start a completely new blueprint, which we're going to do now.
All right, yeah, and they added the arrow, so idiots like me know exactly where to go. And for those of us like me who are, oops, and of course I hit the wrong button somehow, someway. All right, start design. Dang. Yeah, see, and I'm still messing up, I guess, somehow. I'm hitting the new button. Hold on. I'm going to load, or start a completely new blueprint, which we're going to do right now. Am I really this stupid? Maybe the guy was right. Hold on. Alright, well, we don't want to load it, so new, right? Okay, we'll start design, maybe, okay. Oh, there's a part of me that says I need to edit this out, and then there's a part of me that goes, well, for,
You can choose the goals for this ship design by switching between contract, custom, and none.
Well, for comedic sake, if nothing else, and to rub a little mud in my own face, I'm probably going to leave that in there. Alright, let's keep going. Alright, so we're going to select contract for now.
Select Design Tutorial Contract from the list of contracts. Below the contract list, you'll see the most important requirements of the selected contract. On the right half of the screen, you can select from a list of fuselages. Currently, only Little Bug has been researched, so please select it. You can see a short description and basic information about the fuselage just below.
Alright, so I'll admit it took a lot longer than it should have, and I apologize for the rough edit. But I wasn't clicking this right here, which I needed to do to make the spaceship show up. And it is a shuttlecraft, so shouldn't be too complicated. We have made this before, so it really shouldn't be too complicated.
Progress panel. Here you can monitor how good your ship is rated. You can minimize this window by clicking on one of the arrows on the right side.
Okay, so click on that.
In the upper right corner, you can see the Objectives panel. Here you can see the construction goals and information about your current ship design. You can minimize this window with the arrow on the bottom right.
Alright, we're learning. Maybe
In the right corner
need that
of the
audio help.
Objectives panel, you can click on Change Contract to select a different contract. This way you can browse through all available contracts to see if their objectives are a fit for the current ship.
cool. I'm telling you, I'd like to say it's because I've done this before, but really it's not,
Click on
because
the
I don't
arrow
remember
at the
half this
bottom
stuff.
right to minimize or maximize the window. You can use this list to help you keep track of what you still need to build a fully functioning ship.
Cool beans. And as I said in the last video, but I'm going to re-mention it just in case you don't watch the other video, which you probably don't want or need to, is so you got your constraints and what I called opportunities. But essentially a constraint is something that you can't go over. So we need to, for example, let's find out, within budget. So that's a constraint. We've got a budget. We can't go over the budget. We've got to stay inside the budget. Soldiers okay. I don't call that a constraint so much as an opportunity, only in the sense that a constraint to me is something you have to stay inside, where an opportunity is something that you have to at least meet but can potentially go over if it fits the mission. So why I would call soldiers an opportunity is if you're planning on making a warship, the constraint is the minimum number of soldiers. The opportunity is the ability to potentially go over to meet, whatever special mission objectives there are. I'm not sure if that made sense, and I guess it's kind of irrelevant if it did or didn't, so we'll just go ahead and drive on. Other than, red stuff we need to fix, obviously. Green stuff is fine.
Left is your ship's deck layout. You can switch between decks by clicking on the appropriate deck in the ship graphic. You can also change decks by using the page up and page down keys or the number keys 1 and 2.
Alright, or you can just click on the stuff. So deck B1, deck B2. This time around, I absolutely am making sure I know what deck I'm on. I am on deck B2. Got it.
At the bottom of the screen, you'll see the Build menu. Please click on the Small Bridge from the Core Modules panel. You can rotate the selected room by clicking the right mouse button. You can place it anywhere by clicking the left mouse button.
So, right mouse button. I can place it anywhere I want. So, I'm going to put it at the front of the ship. Now, do I want it on deck 1 or 2? Let's put it on deck 2. Alright.
When a room is selected, you can return to the Build menu by pressing the Space key or by clicking on the Build menu icon.
I changed my mind on how I wanted it, though, because I want it symmetrical. It wasn't symmetrical, so we'll do it like that. Okay, space key.
Click and hold the left mouse button over the built room until it attaches to your mouse cursor, then left-click again to build it in a different spot.
I want it where it was. There we go.
Delete the bridge by clicking on it with the right mouse button or hitting the delete key when the room is selected.
Alright, I right mouse keyed it. We probably want to go ahead and put it back.
You can undo any deletion or creation by pressing Z.
Oops. That's what happens when you press Z twice. You crash. Alright, I'll try and remember to edit that out. If I don't, I'm sorry. Apologies for another rough edit. That one wasn't my fault. It's an alpha build, so no harm, no foul. But I hit Z twice, and the game crashed on me. So if it doesn't have something to undo, it may cause it problems. As I said, not a big deal.
Place the bridge at the marked location on deck B2 to be able to continue the tutorial. You're only able to build one bridge. Move or delete the one previously built. Change the deck by using the page up or the number 2 key. When a room is selected, you'll see all of its requirements in the bottom right corner. You'll notice that the crew count in the objectives panel has been updated. This tells you that you now need 2 pilots to operate the bridge. Please build a standard computer now. You'll find it under Core Modules. It's preferable to build it close to the bridge because you'll need a pilot to maintain it. In this ship, place it at the marked location on deck B2.
Alright, give me a sec because I don't remember. Standard computer, we just need to find it. Engine. That's cool. So they've got subcategories inside. I don't know if they didn't have that before or if I didn't notice it before. Standard computer now. You'll find it under core modules. Alright, see? Back to the tutorial. I have a funny feeling Homeboy's gonna have a field day. Let's core modules, small. Oh, there you go, submodule. Got it. Standard computer, and we will put it right there where it tells us to.
Please select the computer. It doesn't require someone staying in it full time for the ship to operate. This means that you can send one of the bridge crew to maintain the computer core as well. Please select the Octagal engine from the main engine tab. You can only build an engine room next to yellow areas. Please build it at the highlighted location on deck B1. Change the deck by using the page down or number 1 key.
Here we go.
Please switch to berthing and select pilot quarters small. Then place 2 units at the recommended locations on deck B2. You'll notice that the crew count as well as the air and water supply are being updated.
I know I really do enjoy the added voice to this actually. Because some people are visual learners, some are audio learners. And
fuel tanks. Please select the small fuel tank from the storage panel and build 2 tanks at the recommended locations on deck B1. In the objectives panel, you'll see the updated fuel supply for the ship.
Small fuel. To be fair, I am actually much more of a visual learner. But when you're trying to, if you're like me, trying to figure stuff out on your own, having them talking so you're not having to do all the reading, so you can kind of figure it out and listen at the same time. Which is kind of cool, but in instances like this, you still sometimes forget, so from the storage. So it's still there to reference. And fuel, small fuel tank, got it. And boom, there we go.
Please switch to berthing and select tech quarters small and place 2 of them in the recommended locations. Some crew management missions require quick access of technicians to the engine room, therefore it's a benefit to place their quarters close to it.
So, in case, as you can see, very detailed game. So if you're
another set of 2 tech quarters small at the other side of the ship. You'll now have 4 technicians available when performing a mission. Build a small air tank by selecting storage and air and place it in the marked location on deck B2.
Air, all right. B2. Voila. So once again, highly detailed game, which I'm getting to learn and like detailed games, like those hardcore war games and stuff.
As you can see from the objectives
So I think I'm gonna
panel,
like this.
The air tank is not enough to supply the current crew count for the required mission duration. Please place another tank at the indicated location. The decks of the ship need to be connected. Select the stairway from the Infrastructure and Connections tab and place it at the highlighted area on deck B1. You can choose if you want to build down from deck B2 or up from deck B1 by clicking on the arrows at the right side of the stairway icon in the build menu. If a lift or a stairway cannot be built up or down because it would intersect with a room or lead into space, it's shown in red.
Ah, there we go. Click the down arrow. Now we should be good to go, right? I think. Oh, okay, so when you made the stairway, you did it up and down. Got it. I forgot about that.
You'll also need water tanks to supply the crew for the entire mission duration. Select the small water tank from Storage and Water and place one now on the marked location on deck B2.
Okay. Done.
Now place another one at the other side of the stairway to fulfill the objectives. Take a moment to maximize the message panel to see what you still need to do. As you can see, the ship is still in need of life support, water treatment, EEVs and hatches, as well as energy and cooling and supply lines. Orange messages are optional tasks.
Definitely didn't mean to do that. Okay.
You can find life support under Health. Construct one at the indicated location on Deck B2.
So I guess a better analogy for the opportunities would be the oranges. So i.e. they're optional. But I don't know. No need to go down that rabbit hole, I suppose. For health. And let's put it right where it tells us to.
Water treatment can be found in the life support category. Construct the water treatment at the indicated location on Deck B2. Water treatment needs medical personnel to operate properly. The objectives panel has been updated to show the new crew requirements. Please select the berthing category and build one medic quarters small at the indicated location.
All right. Right here. Go.
All rooms are still without a power supply. Please select a small nuclear generator from the Power tab and build it at the marked location on Deck B2.
Small generator, right? Engineer. Oh, engineer S with S being small. So, in for nuclear, I would imagine.
When a generator is selected, you can see how much power a single generator has left at the bottom right.
Oh, cool. All right, so it's 300 because we haven't distributed powder. Oh, they added these numbers here too. That's cool. They didn't have that last time. Not that I remember. So now you know how much each of these systems needs to power too. That's pretty cool.
Please select the water treatment. The red lightning icon signifies a room without a power supply. You can see how much power is needed in the room information.
Oopsie daisy. There we go. So 0 of 3.
Please select the power generator or click on the power icon. Red squares or the lightning icon are power plugs to rooms without power. A green power plug means that the room has power. The number shows the amount of power each room needs. To place power lines, left-click and set start and end points of a power line. Left-click again on an already built node or right-click anywhere to stop connecting. Right-click to erase nodes.
Alright, this time I'm making sure to build redundancy, because redundancy is good. You see my discussion on Soviets versus America. Redundant systems. Here we go! Look at that. Now I've got some redundancy.
Please connect all the rooms to your power grid. Every node costs 10 bitcoins and is a source of malfunctions during missions, so place them wisely. Nodes that are not within rooms or corridors will not be accessible for repairs. There will not be enough power for all the rooms for now. The small generator is not enough to power all the rooms on this deck. Please place another one at the marked location and connect it to the power grid.
Yeah, we got enough power.
The lower deck needs power as well. Please place another small generator right next to the engine room and connect all the rooms on this deck to the power grid.
Right? Oh, So I'm trying to make this as smooth as possible, because I know the last one wasn't smooth. It's always kind of tough to make it smooth and entertaining at the same time. Especially a tutorial. I mean, tutorials aren't exactly fun anyways, but the reason why I'm really doing this ultimately is because I think I really want people to learn about the game, so hopefully they'll get excited about it. At least the kind of person who would be interested in this kind of game.
Some rooms, like the engine room and the generator rooms, need cooling. This is indicated by a red temperature icon. Please build a small cooling unit from the cooling tab at the highlighted areas on deck B1 to accommodate this. This room type can only be built adjacent to the hull.
Alright, so our cooling generator. So, for those of you who weren't aware, cooling generator is made of a material or liquid that transmits heat from one section of the ship to the cooling unit. And it is actually the transfer of heat that causes cooling. You now know 101 on how cooling works. I didn't know that until about a year and a half ago. So hooah. You're now officially as smart as me on your understanding of cooling systems. Do we not put it close enough? Oh, adjacent to the hull. Got it. See, I'm not being silly on purpose. Oh, no. I'm putting it right on the thing. Alright, I'm probably doing something dumb. Hold on.
The cooling generator is marked with red arrows. This means that these rooms still need to be sealed by an outer hatch. Select the cooling hatch from the Infrastructure/Hatches tab and build it next to the cooling generator at the marked location.
Alright. Redundancy. But it's not working. I think we need power, maybe? We'll find out.
Please select the engine room. You can see how much cooling is needed at the right side of the room information panel.
100. We have none.
Please select the cooling unit or click on the temperature icon.
Oh, we already did all that. I guess I got ahead of the game on accident.
Connect the cooling units and the hatches to the power grid, then select the cooling unit or click on the cooling unit to activate the draw tool. You can see how much cooling a single generator has left in the room information panel at the bottom right.
Even more redundancy. Okay.
Use the left mouse button to connect the cooling unit to the engine room. Red squares signify a room without cooling. Blue squares are rooms already supplied. There will not be enough cooling for every room. If the grid turns white, it means that the supply is depleted. The engine room requires all the cooling the small cooling unit provides. To be able to cool the power generator as well, please place another cooling unit at the indicated spot.
All right. And there we go, placing another one down. But now, let's go ahead and connect this bad boy. And redundancy. Except we need to get power too. Let's get our, whoop, no, don't want to do that. Power. And more redundancy. Sorry, the redundancy thing is an inside joke for myself almost that you may or may not get. Alright, so we got that, and let's keep on trucking on.
Cooling hatch to seal the newly built cooling unit, then connect the new rooms to the power and cooling grid.
Alright, hatch. Definitely don't want to catch anything on the hatch to prevent it from opening or closing. That wouldn't be good. Alright, I'm being dumb again. Okay, cooling with a little icon. But we need the hatch. Give me a sec. I'm looking. Hatches. There we go. So, connect the new room's cooling hatch. That's exactly what we need. So, cooling hatch, small, I'm assuming. Alright. That.
Now select one of the tanks on deck B1 or the fuel grid icon and construct the pipe leading from the tanks to the engine room. You'll need to connect both tanks to satisfy the engine room's fuel demand. If the lines turn white, this means that the connected supply is depleted.
Well, connected supply is
Provide
depleted.
air to life support on deck B2 by selecting the air tank or clicking the air grid button and then constructing the tubes to connect to the life support.
Alright, so this is a good visual indicator, which you're probably already tracking, but I just kind of understood. So it's not that the fuel tanks are empty, it's that they each hold 50 and the engine needs 100. So the engine's good, but you can't pull any more fuel out of the fuel tanks. So, okay. So B2, so we'll go up to deck B2. Air grid button. Air tank right there. Air grid. This. Oh, so from life. Oh, okay, there we go. So life support. All right. Oh, to here. Okay, got it. Good points. I guess like the fuel tanks don't need life support. That makes sense.
Please connect the water tank to the water treatment facility by selecting the water tank or clicking the water grid icon and laying the pipes to water treatment. You can view all power lines and tubes of this deck at the same time by pressing and holding tab.
Right, and there we go. More redundant.
Life support, computer, and generators on deck B2 still need cooling. Please place a cooling unit at the marked location, seal with a cooling hatch, and connect to the power and cooling grid.
Another cooling unit. Now we need our cooling hatch. Which was under something. Here we go, hatches, infrastructure. Got it. So cooling hatch small.
Open the Health and Emergency category. Select and place the sickbay at the recommended location on deck B1 and connect it to the power grid.
Alright. Health and emergency. Sick bay. Deck B1. So let's go back down to B1. You can also use the arrow keys, but I like using the mouse for this.
Press S or open the File drop-down menu to save the current blueprint. Enter a name you like and hit Save. You can also enter a description to be able to better identify the blueprint later.
Max. Or the McShuttle. We'll call it the McShuttle. Version 2. Maybe this one will work. Another awesome ship. That's right! Redundancy. There you go. We've got redundancy. That apparently really upsets people when you don't have that in your ship design. So, out to make my audience happy. Alright. And to be fair, I am being a little bit of a smarty pants. I'm actually not mad. I'm just having a little fun, really, with myself more than anything. So, I apologize. Got that done?
Select the small armory from berthing and equipment and place it at the marked location on deck B2, then connect it to the power grid.
Alright, berthing and equipment. Oh, berthing and equipment. Alright. So, yeah, as I said, I think before, I'm not a super detail-oriented person. It's not that I can't do it. It just doesn't come naturally to me. I'm going to budget the ship, I'll budget that thing for you, no problem. Building it's a whole other animal for me.
Now you need to connect all the rooms on the ship so the crew can move around and access them. First select a hatch from Infrastructure and Hatches and build 2 hatches on the highlighted locations on deck B2.
Alright, deck B2. And hatches were under infrastructure, correct? Yes, they were. Alright, that's going to be like the door, I'm pretty sure, right? If I
Now
remember
select a Corridor 1 segment from Infrastructure and Corridors and place it between the hatches.
Corridor 1. Now you can walk between the stairway and the computer. Alright.
You can connect distances of 2 grid tiles more effectively by using the large hatch. Select it from Infrastructure and Hatches and place it between the stairway and the armory. You might need to rotate the hatch to fit. Large hatches can only be attached to rooms or corridors in one direction.
Okay.
Please place enough hatches to connect every room on the ship. You can keep track of which rooms are still not connected by watching out for the bright red borders.
Select them again. Alright. My redundancy. Oh, here's a lot of redundancy. You want in that fuel tank? You can get in that fuel tank. You're gonna let a blocked door stop us, that's for sure. Alright, error message.
Take a quick look at the messages bar up top. You can now see that the ship needs an exit hatch. The crew has to be able to enter or leave the ship somewhere. It can be placed anywhere along the hull, preferably at the marked location next to the engine room on deck B1.
Alright. And away we go.
If you haven't already, please extend the power grid to supply all the new hatches. There won't be enough power on deck B1.
So I bet we're gonna have to extend. Either make another power, or... Ooh, this is even more redundancy. Man, I'm turning into like a redundancy master over here. Oh, not enough power, I don't think. So we gotta go up to B2. Let's just try and connect them all right now. Oh, okay, that one's working. Now, so in the real game too, though, even though I'm assuming the more of these you make, the more expensive the ship is. So, during the real game, I'm sure it's going to be a payoff between redundancy versus cost. But since that's not really an issue here, I'm not overly worried about the design layout. And I've just been having a little fun for myself while I make the video. Go. Oh, sort of. Maybe not. Alright.
The small power generator does not produce enough power to supply all rooms and hatches on Deck B1. Please place another small nuclear generator at the marked location next to the engine room and connect it with power and cooling. Also, create a hatch to connect the generator with the engine room.
Small generator? It's a large generator. Oh, in generator. I was thinking large. Okay, so yep. There you go. Now we got another generator. We get some more power supplied into that bad boy. Give ourselves some more redundancy. Because we all know how important that is. And drive on.
In case of an emergency where the crew has to abandon the ship, there needs to be enough emergency escape vehicles for the entire crew. Select Health, then Emergency, and place 2 EEVs at the marked locations on Deck B1 and connect them with hatches. The EEVs don't need to be connected to the ship's power grid, but the hatches do.
Right, these are the escape pods, or the escape things. In case they have to abandon ship. I guess at some point in the last video that wasn't fully clear to me, and I apologize. So, let me be very clear now, these EEVs, in case you didn't hear the nice lady tell us, are nothing more than escape hatches. Or escape pods. Alright, did you say exit hatch or regular hatch? Oh, I see. I was trying to. Okay, so I don't connect them to the outside of the vehicle. I need to connect inside so people can reach them. Now I'm tracking. I was thinking. Okay, I'm tracking now. What's going on? Like last time I was trying to escape out. Like I was thinking you get into it here and have to escape out or something. I think. Oh well. Okay, tracking now. Live and learn. Alright, so it looks like everything's got power. It looks like we might use some more coolant, though. Looking up here. Yeah, so, whatever this is. Alright.
The blueprint is now ready for simulation. All requirements are fulfilled and the ship is fully functional. You can create a ship class by clicking on Prepare for Simulation in the File drop-down menu. After a new window checks the integrity of your design, you can save the blueprint as a ship class by clicking on Save Ship Class.
Okay, ready for simulation. Let's see if we can actually survive this time. Prepare for simulation, so... Prepare for simulation. After a new window, check the integrity of your design. You can save the blueprint as a ship by clicking Save Ship Class. Yes. Save Ship Class. Make ships. Redundancy Shuttle. Redundancy. Here we go. Oh, redundancy shuttle. What's your description? Ah, redundancy shuttle. We want redundancy. Thank you for using the basic design tutorial. Please continue to crew management. Okay, we'll try that out. Maybe it'll actually work this time. Oh. Test and crew management. Yeah, that's what I want to do. I don't want to do the crew management tutorial. Another time, another video, but not right now. Crew management. Okay, hopefully it did save.
Welcome to the basic crew management
Oh,
tutorial.
it's going to make us do that.
If the tutorial window is in the way, you can minimize. First, you'll learn how to test your ship and crew in the standard operation mission, learning basic interface functionality and familiarizing yourself with unit commands. If you started this tutorial out of context and there's no ship name displayed next to ship class, you'll first need to load sample ship class using the file menu in the top left corner.
Ship's redundancy class. Shuttle. It's our redundancy class shuttle. Let's see if it holds up. Right. And just once again a reminder, I'm sure you're already tracking, this is an alpha build. I wouldn't be overly concerned about load times and stuff. It's very, very, very early alpha. Okay.
On the left side of the screen, you can see a list of missions your ship can perform in. SOP missions test the standard operation of the ship. ERS missions simulate different kinds of emergencies. On the upper right side of the screen, you can set the number of crew members you want the ship to have. Reducing the crew can give you additional points as it saves money. This tutorial needs all crew members available, so please leave it as is.
Okay.
The objectives show you what the mission will be about. Most missions have a time limit that you'll need to keep in mind. In the lower right, you can see an overview of the points you'll get for each mission.
Alright.
Please start the mission now by clicking on the button in the lower right corner.
Crew cannot be changed during the tutorial. You cannot start a mission without a crew.
The information panel in the upper left. Please start the mission now by clicking on the button in the lower right corner.
Am I being retarded? Most likely I am. Most likely I am being retarded. Well, let's go load up maybe, I messed something up. Sample ship. What's that say? Alright, well, for whatever reason, either I didn't place crew or something, we don't have crew in our other ship. So we'll just roll with this and see what it's like. Really wanted to test out my shuttle, though.
In the upper left corner shows you how far mission time has progressed. In the top right corner, you're getting information about the name of your current mission, mission time, damage to the ship, the surplus energy available, and the available air and water supply. Below that, you can see how many rooms are in operation. In this mission, 4 dropships deliver 20 pirates onto your ship.
Whoa, what?
This mission might not be successful with the tutorial ship, but you can try your luck anyway.
Oh, okay.
4 dropships deliver 32 well-trained and highly motivated Marines to take over your ship. This mission might not be successful with the tutorial ship. The technicians have taken the pilots hostage and demand higher payment.
Oh, whoops.
If you have military units, you can take them down and regain control of the ship. This might not be possible with the tutorial ship.
Oh, the pirates are coming. Alright. Don't let them board! Don't let them board!
Destroyed.
Waiting for orders.
No, we're on fire! Fire on deck B1, and we're all dead! Okay. Wow. Graphic. Idle! Yes! I would say he's idle. Alright, well, I mean, obviously I don't know what I'm doing in terms of playing, but as you can see, I mean, it's a pretty detailed game. Once you've designed it, I mean, you can have ship, you know, imagine having a much bigger ship and stuff like that. Ship-to-ship fight. That's pretty cool.
Will you stop?
The crew is not trusting the computer and you anymore, so they want to shut it down. You can prevent them from doing so by blocking their progress and shutting down the air supply, but this might not be successful. Special boarding units can infiltrate a ship without the use of dropships. They move through the ship and try to switch off every system because they operate best in the darkness. They can hack doors very quickly and want to take... Your goal is to destroy an enemy ship with your onboard weapons. As the tutorial ship is not armed, this mission will not be successful.
Okay. So I think it's told me enough to know that we're not going to be successful. Alright, that's enough for now. I'll play around with it again. See if there's more to show you at a later date. As you can see, it's come a long way from where it was if you did watch the last video. I apologize for some of my sarcasm during the video. It is late for me. And this video is more of a correction for my last one, because despite my snarkiness, the reality is the last video could have been much better done, and I owe it to the channel and to the dev who made the game to put out a higher quality video than what was originally put out. So hopefully this performs that function, adds a little bit more of the layers of development that have already been added on, and gets you further interested in the game. I'm going to be keeping an eye on it. As I said, I've already bought it. It's already in my library. And as substantial additions are made, I will continue to do a Let's Play on this video, because as always, I love indie devs, and I want this play. Max Corner is a lot of things, but one of the primary focuses is bringing games that other people otherwise wouldn't see and putting them out there so people can find out about them. Without further ado, Mac out.